Hello students, and welcome to the conclusion of the lesson on building functions. And we have one final example here that asks us to convert a relation to a function. And a relation is basically just an equation. Okay, so the word relation here and the word equation, they mean roughly the same thing. Okay, but what we really want to do is to get some functions out of this. And if you look at this relation, x minus 2 quantity squared plus y plus 3 quantity squared equals 16. If you recall from some of our earlier lessons, if we were to graph this item, it would be a circle, okay, with a center at 2, -3, and a radius of 4. Okay, so it would look approximately like this. Okay. It's not a really great looking circle there, but if you drew a perfect circle, it would be the accurate graph of this relation. And to see why this is not a function, all we really have to do is give it the vertical line test. Okay, so if we were to draw a vertical line anywhere down the middle here, you can see that it's going to fail because at this point here and at this point here, the vertical line touches both points. So this is not a function. But if we wanted to make this a function, we certainly could do it. A function y as a function of x, we can follow these instructions here. So let's first solve for y, okay, and then we'll split it into two equations as needed. And so let's get started by solving for y. And let me go back to my blue ink here. So to solve for y, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this entire expression here, x minus 2 squared, and just move it to the other side. So I'm going to get y plus 3 quantity squared. Okay, and you have to excuse the speed at which I'm writing today. Okay. Y plus 3 quantity squared is equal to 16 minus quantity x minus 2 squared. So that entire term moves over to the right side. Okay. And that's the first step. Okay, and then what I need to do is to take the square root of both sides so that I get closer to having y by itself. And you have to be careful that when you take the square root of any number or any expression, you're going to get a plus or minus. So on the right side here, I'm going to get plus or minus the square root of what I had before, of 16 minus x minus 2 quantity squared. Okay? And let's be careful because this entire thing has to be inside the square root. So I'm going to go back to this color and just extend my square root symbol just a little bit so it becomes very obvious that everything there falls within the square root. And on the other side, I just have y plus 3. So I've taken the square root of both sides. And you can sort of see here that it's this plus or minus sign here that breaks the function or makes this this relation a non-function. It's the plus or minus 3. The plus part of it gives you the top half. The minus part of it gives you the lower half. Okay? And so this is right now not a function, but we will get to a point where we can make it a function in a minute. So now let's just get y by itself so we can subtract 3 from both sides. Or another way to say it is that we can just add -3 to both sides. And so we get -3 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus x minus 2 quantity squared. And there we have it. We have y by itself. We've done this part. But now, this is still not a function because the plus or minus is going to give you two outputs for one input, a point up here and a point down here. So we have to split this. And just following the example that we have here, what we need to do is to split what we have here into two or more equations as needed. And this time we definitely need it, so we have to do it. Okay? So what I can do here is just rewrite this. It's not too difficult to do. I can just rewrite this as two separate equations. I can say, look, y1 is going to be equal to -3 plus only the square root of 16 minus quantity x minus 2 squared. And then I can say that y2 is -3, and this time minus the square root of 16 minus x minus 2 quantity squared. And this entire thing will be my final answer. And just sort of to explain and see conceptually why this is the case, you can see that in the first equation, y1, so in y1, it's drawing the top half of the curve, and then in y2, it's basically drawing the bottom half of the curve. So y2 here draws the bottom half of the curve. So the two functions together give you a complete picture, but each one of these is still a function. And one of the things why this is useful is now you can actually graph this and see. Your TI-8384 graphing calculator will not allow you to graph this relation, but it will allow you to write two functions like this, and you get a complete circle out of it. Okay, so that's one of the advantages. But you'll see later on that there's advantages to writing relations as functions, even if we're not using a calculator. Okay? And so there's some problems here at the bottom of the page that says try them on your own. You should definitely try them on your own and turn them in along with your notes. Have a wonderful day, evening, or weekend, or whenever it is that you're watching this, and I will see you in class.